Yeah, appreciate you, Seth. Well, what I think I'll do is go into welcome everybody on YouTube. For some reason I never actually followed through with making sure that I had clicked or double checked that I clicked into YouTube and made sure that everything was going. So anyway, welcome YouTube people. Okay. So I want to go into Canva and look at my old sell sheet for Sugar Shack and just do a little bit of reflection, do a little bit of double checking here. What are the most significant changes? Because there definitely will have been several. Like, what would I need to update here? What can I leave alone? Dynamic worker placement locations, that's still happening. Game-changing upgrades, still happening. Lead to shifting strategies, still possible. So I think that's actually nice that the hook is still relevant. None of this changes. I'm going to bump it up to 45 minutes. And maybe even slightly older. I'm going to go with 9. Why? Not because I'm a developmental expert, but because it seems like more of a game as we go. 32 cards. I think we're down to 28. 36 sounds right-ish. 14. I think we're at 20 now. And 1d6. I know that this cube number, actually the cubes are different. So 8 millimeter. Cubes, we had 6. What was that count? 36 cubes is probably fine. Meeples was 20. I think this is close to right. That's close enough for now, anyway. It's spring in Maplewood and the sap is flowing. Manage your Sugar Shack efficiently. Still true. Gain the favor of the townsfolk. Yep. And outmaneuver your rival to become the grand syrup maker of Maplewood. Sugar Shack is a quaint mini Euro for 1 to 2 players with worker placement, resource management, and emergent asymmetry. Yeah. I really like, I don't think I'd heard this term before, using it here, mini Euro. I think there's something to it. I like these. Maybe I'm not sure about including the White Castle in this, but there are those games. In the White Castle, you get 9 turns, and I think that's incredible. That's a little bit of the, I don't know, but that's like a full. It's weird to say full game, but I don't know. There's a lot of components. It takes up a fair amount of space on the table. This one is very compact. It still takes up space, I guess, but it just seems like there's something smaller about this game, but it's still sandboxy. It's still, hey, thanks very much, Francisco. Welcome. It's still, this game is, it still has the features, the trappings of a Euro, in that it's about efficiency. There's a touch of theme here. There's definitely engine building. Like, I feel like it has several takes advantage of modern Euro tropes, patterns, mechanisms, but it's still small. That's the thing. Maybe I'm having a hard time processing. I still feel like it is a small game, but there's a fair amount of decision real estate still. I think so. Anyway, mini Euro, a quaint I wonder if that is doing work here in an important way. Quaint is probably not useful here. Can I say sand? I said quaint because I like the image, this cute little town. You know, the snow is melted off. There's maybe still a little bit of ice on the pond. You know, everybody's enjoying the early days of spring. It's this tiny little hamlet almost, maybe not even a town. And you're doing something with that has a great tradition, a great history behind it. You're manufacturing maple syrup in your little cabin, your little sugar shack. So I think there is something quaint about that. And I think the word quaint here is more about the mood of the theme and of the setting than of the nature of the game. Right? The nature of the gameplay, I should emphasize here. So maybe it's out of place. Game-changing upgrades lead to shifting strategies. I do believe that. I do believe that is still the heart of this game. Perhaps it's failing to capture the management of resources when it comes to the Sugar Shack. That could be missing here, but I still think these two aspects are most important. That's my guess. Plot twist. The whole town is in the Sugar Shack. In a snow globe in the Sugar Shack. Anything could happen, Francisco. Okay, so this is gone in a good way. Okay, produce, employ, transport, upgrade. Find the sweet spot in managing your Sugar Shack. Produce, employ, transport, upgrade. Actually, that stuff is all still kind of true. That's all kind of true. One issue is that all these cards have changed. So that's going to take time to sort out. I don't remember if I can replace images. I feel like maybe I can. Also, this is not necessarily the focus I wanted to have today. I wanted to just go through the game again and do some tweaking. Let me see if... Okay, so this is gone. I think it's the mayor now that I need to emphasize. So yeah, this is completely gone. It's not a new town location anymore. What's good about this is there will be some more breathing room, so that's good news. Okay, race for trophies of favor from the townsfolk for endgame rewards. This is not quite true. The player with the most trophies wins. On your turn, place workers to activate. This is all still true. That's good. Produce, employ, transport, upgrade. Find the sweet spot in managing your Sugar Shack. Francisco, for some reason, I feel like find the sweet spot was your idea too, but no, I can't. No, I can't remember. It's the kind of idea that would have been your idea. Let me put it that way. Full game layout. This is actually all still relevant, except now the card dimensions have changed. Yeah. Let me see if I can. I don't think it replaces the image. I think I have to. It'd be great if it did, but it will not. I think it was in. I think in hello. In Figma, it replaces images, but not. I don't think it replaces them here. Okay, smart, Francisco. If it was a good idea, then I will take credit for it. You should. It's amazing how much changing to this Euro, not Euro, I was gonna say Euro size. What is it? Euro poker or whatever. But no, this is why can't I think of it? Tarot. Incredible the improvements to tarot. Okay, rotation is negative. Oh, that was actually really close. Are either of you guys getting the people that jump in, say, "Hey, how's it going? Cool! Like, wow, this looks great. Hey, what's your Instagram?" Tarot size. Hope the game ships with holy water. Yeah, just to fend off any evil spirits. So what I wonder is if you guys get a bunch of those people who jump in, hey, just followed you. Hey, I'm an artist. Check out my stuff. How many, how often do you see those people jump in? Because then I said, oh yeah, but I'm not really planning on getting any artwork done because I wanna hand these games off to a publisher and they're gonna manage all that, and then the person unfollowed and that was it. So it was kind of cute. I guess I would see that coming, but get that every few months, yeah. Are the cards in Juggernaut's tarot size? I guess it's the power. What was I just thinking of? Oh yeah, look at the difference here. No, the player aid got it. Look at how much more real estate that is. It's great. Yeah, that was huge. And this came from Aaron, just wanting more space, wanting bigger text, bigger icons, bigger everything, and just going to tarot size, I think made the whole game. Yeah, it just let it just relax, spread out a little bit. It must have been Francisco's idea. Yeah, let it breathe more. Everything about it was really good. I'm open to this also being Francisco's co-discovery. It's hard to remember where the ideas came from. I know that Aaron was the most vocal in-person playtester. to talk about text size, icon size, and that kind of stuff. Valuable bonus block location. So the mayor card is still the main feature here, but yes, these need to go away. I can just arrange these as I go. Cluster B market. Like, look at, that's a crazy difference, you know. Wow, I was even using the old version for this card. I mean, the amount of space. Let me put an outline on this card. Like, I need to change the corners. What's the corner rounding situation? That's a question. 4. You know what I just remembered is we have, a design meetup from 2 to 6 this weekend. I'm trying to get meetings scheduled for, I just realized I need to take a vote off. That's so funny. Because I made this poll and I actually can't show up to 2 of the times I put on there. Why didn't I check my calendar? I thought I did, but that didn't work out. Okay, expanding the card size, I never said, but I having meeple size outlines that you put meeples on. It's my idea. That's good. Now we have the it's kind of like having the Oxford English Dictionary of ideas for Sugar Shack. That's what we needed. We needed to track exactly the source and the timing of when the ideas first presented themselves. That's what we need. Position is 9. Yeah. I think 1 was. What's that? I'm really glad for so many of these changes. Wow, warehouse was gone. Like, just so many improvements since this cell sheet. What is the transparency? What is it there? What did I just see? 30. Might be a little light. Let's do 40. One of the reasons I want to update this is because I do intend to send this into John Zinser at AEG. Because I feel like I'm getting close here. What are you doing here? I feel like I'm getting close. I still need that validation of like in-person playtesting. This game makes sense. This game is humming. It's singing. It's kind of interesting now to think about how when a game is working well or when something's going well. I guess engines also hum. But I do hear the use of singing kind of regularly. The Dice Tower people say singing a fair amount. Yeah, why would this ratio not be locked? 159 and 193. Got him. I almost wish they would import at that size. What were you? I really like how the layout has evolved. The layout of the cards. Let me go get syrup ink. What's it? 5. That's perfect. And then I wish there was a way to like not go through these steps every time. And then, because it's stabilized. Like, there was a time when I thought of a very variable setup was a strength. And why do you look weird? What? Oh, never mind. Now I don't mind like a setup where I mean, it's just packable, right? It's a game board that's packable. That's the main thing that's happening there. It's yeah, it's quickly it's in a small travel friendly what is it? How do you talk about form factor? There we go, form factor. And I think that's good. What was on the so Cluster B? Oh, the warehouse. I'm glad I got rid of flipping the warehouse. There was no need for that. It seemed like a cool idea at the time, but no need for that. But what's the need for any of this? Am I right? Just for people to have a nice time together. That's like the point. I need the mayor. You need to go away. What were you for? Covering something kind of important. Okay, this is all very uninteresting. I mean, for me, this is all just I just need to replace cards. I wonder if there's anything I can look at in terms of copy that I'm emphasizing I don't need to, or not emphasizing and I should. Okay, Francisco. Have I been... Okay, I haven't been dropping too many frames. So that's good. Okay. This is what happens, but this is not what the question that John put to me is what brings people back? I think I want to front load this sentence with what I think is interesting about the game, right? Find the sweet spot in managing your sugar shack. Produce, employ, transport, upgrade. Upgrade. I'm going to take transport off. Produce, employ, upgrade. So that is the big question. What keeps bringing people back? So find the sweet spot that will keep you coming back because you need to, the last game didn't really go as you imagined. You got to find that sweet spot. Adapt. Adapting presents a really fun set of problems. You need to understand the situation. You need to understand the situation and what the situation is asking of you. Then you need to figure out what decisions you need to make, what actions you need to take to adjust what you're doing to align it with what the game is asking you to do. So I think that's interesting, right? So I'm doing this thing. Oh, wait, now I've analyzed the game state, the board state. I realize I have an aha moment, and that's key. I think that's key for players. That's key for good games is you have an aha moment. Oh, wait, the game is asking me to change. The game is asking me to change. That's a really fundamental, that's a really what's that term? I always think of this word as related to something like dinosaurs. And it's a simple word and I always have trouble with it. It's another word kind of like fundamental. It's like oh, come on. Do I really have to look this up? That's crazy. Primal. There it is. It's primal. So I think there is something powerful and addictive, compelling, attractive to having noticed when it's important to change. That that reminds me of an old documentary. Let me see if I can find it. It's the name of it I always forget, and I always do this. I want to look it up and try to remember. This is when documentary there's it has a famous musician, I think, did the soundtrack for it. And I want to say it's just images of like buildings being destroyed. It's like destruction such that life must change. It's some word, like a Navajo word for that or something. No. Mm-mm. It's a kind of collapse or collapse. Native American word. Nope, nope, nope. Maybe it's like an art film. There it is, right there. A Hopi word. This is a cool word. And I remember this being, I remember where we watched it. 1982 American non-narrative documentary. Okay. Koyaanisqatsi. Yeah. I think they say this word in the film. Let me see if it defines Philip Glass. It's so crazy, like knowing that something is in there in the memory, knowing that, like, it's like when you're trying to remember a word and you know, like, the feeling of the letters, but you might not know the letters. You kind of have the feeling of the length of the word, but you don't remember how many letters. Like, it's very much, that happens to me a lot. I imagine it happens to you too, but it happens to me a lot. Life out of balance. Okay. I'm surprised it doesn't define the word here. Life out of balance. Because I don't think that's what the word means. The film opens with the definition, I'm pretty sure. So maybe it actually says it if we can show it. Let me check the volume levels here.
Critics around the world have called it a remarkable film.
Trailers have changed so much.
A breathtaking experience, a fusion of image and sound.
Yeah, I remember that, the kind of almost chanting style. It looks like it won't open, it won't show that. Very eerie, uncomfortable music. Like tense, right? Whoa. Frantic, desperate. It's cool. But I wonder if I can see the whole. I guess I just have to say define. That's too bad.
What I tried to show
is that the main event today is not seen by those of us that live in it. We see the surface of the newspapers, the obviousness of conflict, of social injustice, of the market, welling up of culture. But to me, the greatest event, or the most important event of perhaps our entire history, nothing comparable in the past to this event is fundamentally gone unnoticed. And the event is the following: the transiting from old nature, or the natural environment as our host of life for human habitation, into a technological milieu, into mass technology as the environment of life. So these films have never been about the effect of technology, of industry on people. It's been that everyone, politics, education, the financial structure, the nation-state structure, language, the culture, religion, all of that exists within the host of technology. So it's not the effect of, it's that everything exists within. It's not that we use technology, we live technology. Technology has become as ubiquitous as the air we breathe, so we are no longer conscious of its presence. So what I decided to do in making this film is to rip out all the foreground of a traditional film, the foreground being the actors, the characterization, the plot, the story. I tried to take the background, all of that just support it like wallpaper, move that up into the foreground, make that the subject, ennoble it with the virtues of portraiture, and make that the present. So we looked at traffic as the event. We looked at the organization of a city as the equivalent of what a computer chip looks like. We looked at acceleration and density as qualities of a way of life that is not seen and goes unquestioned. Life unquestioned is life lived in a religious state.
Whoa. Life unquestioned is life lived in a religious state? What in the world? Like, super interesting. How did I get into this? Oh, here it is. Hopefully. Here it is. Yeah, so Life Out of Balance. It looks like it has multiple options here. Life of Moral Corruption and Turmoil. Crazy Life, Life in Turmoil. This is what I remember standing out to me. A state of life that calls for another way of living. I don't think the language was quite, it wasn't this. I think there was, oh, wait, is this the whole thing? No.
Is every person who works at a
So
desk
sorry.
to get a neck hump? Not if you do this thing. I always thought.
Maybe this is the beginning. Hopefully this is the beginning, because I remember it defined the thing. It looks like it won't. No. Too bad. Anyway, cool idea, cool word. How did I get into that? I think, it's when, yeah, so I think this is such a powerful invitation for a player. Like, so that's why, I mean, like chess or other, perfect information abstracts, they're really, really engaging, because it's very much head to head. I'm affecting you, you're affecting me, we all know what's going on, who's going to calculate better. Who's anticipating better, me versus you. And that's where this game started. It started as more of an abstract, but and that's a perfect information abstract. But where it's at now, the game asks you to adapt. And I think a game or anything, any state where you carrying your mind into that situation, when the thing asks you to adapt, I think it's accessing something, as I said, primal, something fundamental to what it means to grow, to feel growth as a human. That's crazy. Like that's really, really, it's a powerful motivator. Yeah, I think asking a player to adapt taps into something very basic about being a person. And I think that's one reason it's interesting. Right? What does it mean for something to be interesting? For something to capture attention? I think it's useful. A thing does that when it taps into or accesses something fundamental about being you. And adapting is like that's what you've been doing this whole time. Is life or various situations ask you to change, and that's uncomfortable. But when you do it, when you make that adjustment, when you make that change, when you find that you succeed in adapting, that's very validating. It's very validating. It's confirmation that you are working, right? That you as an entity, that you as a being or as a unit, that you as a unit are functioning. It's evidence that you're alive. It's evidence that you're operating in a way that allows you to it's evidence that you're operating in a way that will allow you to succeed. And I mean in a big way, in a big sense, succeed in life, like win at life. This is kind of the evolutionary invitation. It's, hey, why don't you give it your best? See if you can succeed at life. Because then, that's the whole, well, then maybe you're more likely to pass on your genes, or maybe you're more likely to take a position of influence or something like that. So I think when a game asks you, the game itself, now of course players will ask you to do this, but I think it's cool when a game itself asks you to adapt. Okay, so I've fixated on this for a little while here, but I think that's what's so powerful about this word. I don't know that every publisher would see that word and think the same thing I do about it, but now I see why randomness is important, why imperfect information is useful. It's because, yes, the other player is doing things that you should adjust to, but now the game itself is saying, hey, are you paying attention? Do you have what it takes to notice that I'm asking you to change? And then do you have what it takes to change? I think that's important. I thought I would be back. Going to be gone. I'll leave the lurk up though. Hey, thanks, man. Have a great day, Francisco. Appreciate you. I like this idea of leaving a lurk up. I think that's interesting. Yeah. Race. You know what? I don't know if I'm just kind of philosophizing or just kind of playing with words, but it is really cool to consider if there's something basic, deep, fundamental going on when it comes to what we do with games and game design and spending time with each other at the table. I'm convinced. You can see I'm convinced. I'm basically sold out to games and game design at this point after now 4 years of investing a lot of time and resources into whatever it is games are and being with people who play games. It's amazing to me. I love it. And I think it's because games are the they're a driver behind what it means to become a person. And I think that's really, really cool. And this is, studying education and thinking about Vygotsky was a big play advocate. I was in grad school at a time when people were like researchers were starting to be concerned that we were losing recess. So we ended up thinking about play a fair amount. And of course, there are really important linguists who think about language and communication as a form of play. Wittgenstein is, I think, the most important. I think his views changed over time, but he thought of language and communication as, in its most basic sense, as a game. I forget if that was early Wittgenstein or later, but so some of these people, had an impact on me academically, but also, I worked at summer camp for so long and have enjoyed games and play for a long time, and even improv, and like treating the world as if it's light, as if it's something that you can experiment with. This is something I've grown into as an adult. And I think that's what games at the table offer. It's important to see these things as repeatable experiences. Every experience is unique, but the games that we play offer us some similar flavor of experience, and that it's really cool to understand that growth and learning and development, they all come from like repetition with what games offer. So whatever it is games offer is the stuff that makes you and also potentially makes you a better you. That's what games do. They offer that stuff. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. So it's really fun to be able to participate in this world. Now, I would also like to be able to design games that people enjoy and that sell. So yes, I get to participate, but I also want to be a driver. I also want to, be a value add for this community and for these people. So it's been a cool few years. And I think hopefully if I identify some of these things that matter, and give language to them or put language to them, then hopefully that will improve my game design ability, right? So I think that's why it's been really cool to stream and just kind of talk out loud and engage and interact with you guys that show up and chat with me. I think it's been really valuable for that reason, just to start putting words to more things, like more aspects of what I'm doing. Super valuable. Super, super valuable. And Seth, I know that you find value in that too. Just kind of talking through your process, engaging people, asking them for projects to work on. I think it's all, it's a really, really good routine exercise, just to put words to things and like talk through. That's what I tell my students. Like, writing is thinking, talking is thinking. Like it's really, really good. We're accessing something deep here, and I love it. So did not expect to be at this point at this time. It looks like I won't have time to click through a game, but here we are with the sell sheet of Sugar Shack. I still think it has some of the important connective tissue. I think many of the ideas are still relevant here. Some of it is just the action of switching out one outdated image for one updated image. So that's boring, but it's also cool. See if I get any new ideas by doing what I'm doing. So yeah, that's nice. Also, I'm happy that it seems like the stream has been fairly stable. Very exciting. Maybe I lost it for a short time. I lost it for a short time at the beginning, but otherwise it's been great. So I'll spend just a few more minutes here making some of these changes, looking for some more details to update here, and again, looking for what brings people back. But I think in general, that's great. No hiccups. Hiccup free. That's awesome. Yeah. So definitely by removing one step, right? Because 2 is gone now. I'm gonna have a little more breathing room for like whatever is up here is just gone. I believe the mayor card can leave. I never really loved these colors. I never loved the spectrum that I had going here. I prefer just to have a theme, but I thought the colors might help differentiate the things I was pointing out. I don't love there's no color scheme, you know. Still no votes. Yeah. So I'll just keep working on this. I feel good about that. So we need a mayor card. We'll bring in Flapjack Feast. I feel is a cool, somewhat. It might be a little busy, but it's a cool representation of the mayor cards. A cool example. A cool, representative. Yeah, sure. From what I can tell, it's been very consistent, so I'm happy about that. Size was 159. Close enough. Negative. Whoa! Not 159. Okay, negative 9.8. And I liked outlining. I liked how this went to outline in the color of this thing here. What color is this? Okay. Doesn't actually. Okay, I think that's it. And then thicken it so that it really highlights. Yeah. The blocked location. I need to just lock this. That's good. So yeah, all that can slide up. Definitely the real Seamus Cab. What was that game? Wasn't it it was the Average Joe game, right? Was it Average Joe? How you doing, Legends? I'm pretty sure it was. Or no, you had to guess. I can't think of what that game was. You know who else brought back? It was like two. Was it one? Because one thing had to be a lie. They play a game called Average Joe. I remember because Josh played that game with us. It was a party game, and I had to tell a lie one of them was I can't whistle or something like that, and then. But anyway, Josh recently brought that up. The whole whistling thing. That's a lie. I didn't have cats this past Saturday. Wait, are you trying to take treats to feed cats when you're streaming Legends? Is that what's happening? Because that could be a little out of hand. Also, if you haven't streamed from Kaka'aka Waterfront Park, oh, very cute. I think streaming from that park might be nice if you never have. So you counted cats on stream. The chat wanted to get treats, and I had treats. So it took me weeks to get them to him. Yeah, I absolutely know that feeling. But that's also a very cute, very nice idea. Race for trophies. What are these kinds of cards? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. I like it out there. I went with my parents twice this last week, and we walked. We just did a loop, a couple of loops to get some steps, and the other time, because we noticed the steps going down. If you're looking at the ocean and you go right, then the steps going down to the water. That was my first time ever seeing that. And there were some swimmers in there when we came the first time. Some guys snorkeling for a taco, I think. And then we went back and checked it out. It was more murky at that time. But it was still cool. It was still nice to get in over there, and the shower's right there, and it's comfortable. And yeah. Saturday's such a hard time for me to catch a stream, though, because it's still church time, I think. Race for trophies. So the town hall does give trophies. You know what? Why am I not doing this? I just need to drop in a bunch of these cards. Yeah, so I'll do, let's see, garage, sugar bush, and staff. Because it should be all of them though. Sugar bush, yeah. It's tough. It's just a tough time. Saturday morning. Wait, what time are your streams usually at, Legends? Okay, this is good. Oh, yeah. Okay, I actually could make that because church isn't until like 9 or 10. Depends. I didn't realize it was that early, but I see the problem. I see the problem, Seth. This should be 1 point. Indeed, I see the problem. Oh, Sugarbush did didn't really need that. Needed staff, Sugar Shack, and garage. Let's get everything here. Saturday, I'll be doing my top 12 plus new to me 2025 board games list. Okay. Some egregious and very interesting / attractive self-promotion here, which I love, and I want to encourage that. So for anybody who is here and is not following Legends, or if anybody for whatever reason sees the very end of this stream later on, you should check out Legends. He is a very prolific is a weird word here. But he's one of the most high, what is this? Efficient gamers. High functioning is not good. Is not what I mean, but it kind of is what I mean. One of the highest consumers of games that I know in terms of learning new games. He's always got goals. So he always tries to beat his yearly new to him games list count. I don't know how many games were new to him. Was it in the 130s or something like that? 120s? New to him in 2025? But anyway, that should be an interesting list. The top 12. New to him. So that would be worth checking out. I guess while we're here, we have Saracen Zero, who employs the magic of coding to just build interesting things that I don't fully understand. But an interesting thing about his stream is that if you request or if you give ideas about building a game or building some kind of 135 new to me in 2025. How many people can say that? Very few people on the planet can say that. So, yeah, I also don't understand. Oh, he did. He set a personal best. 130 in 2024, 135 in 2025. I hope you count. I think you counted Adra HQ, right, Legends? I think you did. You usually count my games, even though they're prototypes. Although the Pathfinder game is a legitimate game, and I hopefully that made your list in 2024. So yeah. Anyway, some interesting people here. So make sure you check out their streams if you are under the influence of my voice. Yeah, I may need to set a reminder for Saturday morning. How crazy is that? I am trying to get back to my routine. So since my parents have been here, I've been going to bed later. Although last night was I think asleep by around 11. But I think just dealing with some stressors, sleeping on a bed out in my um what is this? I've been sleeping in my living room on my pull-out couch, and it's fine, but I think I just let myself go back to some old habits, and so found myself sleeping in as well. Wait, I could get snubbed from the top 12 list. This is great. Drama is brewing. I know I would not have made. I know I would not have made, or any of my designs would not have made the top 12. I don't know, Seth. What has he played? Yes, Your Grace? I don't think so, right? Because you could also. That's what you mean. I could get snubbed from the top 12. Is it with Yes, Your Grace or something else? I think so. Once at Other Realms. Okay. Yeah. Drama is certainly. The tension is rising. Yeah, anything can happen. Also, I wonder if you can be bought, Legends. You know, like, is there? I imagine there are certain incentives that you would respond to in order to place a game on your top 12. Am I right? I don't want to think of you as one who can be bought, but I don't know. Anything could be worth a price. I think that'd be really funny if you have people bid to be in your top 12. That could be so good. And a little fundraiser for your cat treats. That could actually be really nice. Promise I'll give 6 gold in a pouch. And then when he opens it, he finds out it's 0. Yeah. Yeah, we make it into a bluffing game for ourselves. That could be very fun. Okay, almost there. Now I need to arrange these appropriately. Yeah, now I'm just kind of having a good time. Because I really should jump over and work on some class stuff. My parents will be back in a little while, I'm sure. They are out playing pickleball right now. Okay. And I'll just kind of hang these off here. I wonder how I move these up. Where is this other one? I think this what is it? Overlapping was really smart. So that you can find those little things that are just hanging out underneath what you're working on. That's really smart. Like, okay, so this would be here. This would be here. So Saturday morning, I'm going to write it down. for my first ever Legends stream. Yeah. Okay, Legends, see you. Have a good time. Okay, yeah, wrapping up pretty soon. I'm just kind of caught up in adjusting some of these things. And maybe move this whole thing. Oh, perfect. Slide it in under here. Oh, that did not stick. Okay, good. So that's good. I think the mayor card being there, I don't know why these guys are here. This could be a little bit thicker, I think. I'll definitely do the full layout. I think that's important. And then this, like shifting this up will be okay. Maybe this down a little bit further. This whole thing can now drop down a little bit. Yeah, it's crazy. Space, like how much space matters, right? And I don't know. I had these all in line before. I don't know. I can't imagine that's important. That's not bad though. Sliding that over closer to center. Yeah, I think that's good. I could I guess I could just kind of blow up some of these things too. And if this whole arrangement slides down, I feel like that's good. Okay, yeah, I'll come back to this. Didn't really anticipate getting caught up in this process, but I feel good that this is still generally relevant. Like the information on here is still pretty good. And I still need to I think I need to do a better job of capturing the, what makes this what makes the game attractive, but it's not bad as it is, I think. Okay. Town locations temporarily, but giving valuable bonuses. Race for trophies. A favor from the townsfolk. The player with the most trophies wins. Yeah. Okay. Is that... Oh, yeah, what's good here? What's been working is you can also like do combos, like kind of chain some stuff together in the game, but I don't think there's a great way to illustrate that with an example. This is still good, just like showing, okay, this is how the game works. I wonder if it would be better for this to move up, but the most space to capture it is really right here, and this being out of the way I think is actually a good thing. Should probably be lifted up like that. Oops. But okay, I feel good about that for today. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Be productive, be good, have a nice day. I will see you all, talk to you soon. Yeah, that's it for me. Bye-bye for now. See you later.